Don't be afraid. Be terrified.
I was out on a walk one afternoon. I was going down to my local pharmacy to read some magazines and maybe buy a snack. Yet, on my way there, I noticed a garage sale. I don't normally care about things like that, yet I figured I could spare a minute or two and look around. Who knows, I might find something cool. As fate would have it, I did. I noticed an old Looney Tunes DVD. The case was rather old and worn. Some of the characters' faces seemed to have been ripped off, probably from some little kid or something. I used to love those things as a kid. I especially loved Wile Coyote, plus it said it had a special Lost episode. Lost episode, I thought. Never heard anything about one of those. Yet when I asked to buy it, the owner said, "You don't want that DVD, dude." "Why not?" I asked. "That Lost episode is..." He stopped talking as if in a trance, haunted by some horrible nightmare. I didn't really care. I mean, if it's bad, so be it. I still got plenty of other episodes to watch on it. In the end, I bought it from the guy anyway. He shook his head and frowned as I left. Jeez, I said to myself. How bad can it really be? Later that night, I decided to watch the DVD. The rest of my family had gone to bed already. My brother and sister had to go to school early tomorrow. My mom had a tough day at work and basically crashed on her bed when she got home. And my dad goes to work at 5 in the morning. So, it was just me, myself and I watching some good old Looney Tunes. I put it in the player and soon enough the main screen came up with all the options. Looked cute enough. It had Bugs Bunny in the center munching on a carrot, Wile E and Roadrunner in the background on one side, and Sylvester and Tweety on the other. Occasionally Daffy popped up every once in a while, trying to get on the screen. Yet, when he finally does, Elmer Fudd shoots him with his gun. I noticed the Lost episode had a section just for itself, and I remembered how freaked out the guy was. Curious, I selected it. How terrible can it be? I remember thinking once again. The episode starts off normally. The Warner Brothers sign zooming up, followed by the usual music. Then the title of the episode comes up. I got them all. I found the title a bit odd, but whatever. The title fades away. I was shown Wile E. Coyote, yet he wasn't running after the Roadrunner. In fact, I didn't even hear a meep meep. All those goofy scientific Latin names they put under he and Wile E didn't pop up. Yet the most unusual thing was that it was nighttime in the desert. No Wile E. Coyote cartoon was ever shown with it being night. Wile E just stood there looking at the camera with a really sad and serious look on his face. No music is playing. There is an orange glow coming from the left of him, and I could hear what sounds like a fire near him off screen. He just stood there looking at the camera, looking at me, for about 15 seconds. Then he turned his head near the off-screen fire. The camera stays on him, so I can't tell what he's looking at. He looks back at me. Then he holds up a sign that reads, "You laughed at me." I didn't get where this was going. Then he talks. Rarely does Wile E ever talk, unless he's with Bugs Bunny. "You all said it couldn't be done," Wile E says. "That I can't catch him. That destiny dictates that shall not be." I lifted an eyebrow, still wondering where this was going. Wile E walks off screen. When he is totally gone, I hear something wet and squishy along with the fire. Wile E walks back and looks at me once more, then lifts his hand. I gasped at what was in it. The Roadrunner's head. Wile E laughs and proceeds to bite into the bird's decapitated skull. As he does this, the scene flashes to Wile E silhouetted by a full moon, as he runs through the desert night. Back to Wile E and Roadrunner's head for a moment, then back to Wile E, still only a shadowed outline of him. Then I see the Roadrunner sleeping in a nest. Wile E walks towards him. Back to Wile, who had taken another bite of the Roadrunner's head, blood dripping out of it. Back to the coyote creeping to the nest. He now stands right behind the sleeping bird. I am now seeing Wile's feet. Blood drips down near them as the sound of him eating the head is heard. Again, we return to Wile and the nest. Wile now holds what looks like a large knife. No way, I remember saying just before it happened. Wile jams the knife right into the Roadrunner's head, its blade coming out the front and piercing one of his eyes. For a brief moment, the Roadrunner twitches. Then, his body goes limp. Wile pulls out the knife by ripping it out the top of Roadrunner's head, followed by chopping off his neck. It returns to Wile and the head. He is still looking out at me. He tosses the head away and smiles. I made a freaked out face, terrified and surprised at what I just saw. Surprised, I see, Coyote said. Well, what about this? Wile reaches for a side of the screen and moves the camera over to where the fire is, only to reveal the rest of the Looney Tune characters' heads on poles. He walks over to the first one, Porky Pig. Just then, the scene goes to an image of Porky's body on the floor, being cut open, and his internal organs being ripped out by Wile's hands. Next to Sylvester, all we see in his scene is his decapitated head in a toilet, floating in the blood and water in it. Elmer Fudd, only his head is on a pole. The scene goes to him with his shotgun in his mouth, then his head exploding in a bloody brainy mess as what I assume was Wile firing it. Sam, shot with his pistols. Foghorn, skinned alive. The dog in the Foghorn cartoons, chainsawed to bits. I felt like wanting to vomit with each new character introduced, followed by how they died. Soon enough, he came to Bugs Bunny. Bugs still had his whole body, yet he was impaled upon a much longer pole, his body still twitching, its tip coming out of his mouth. The camera moves to the side of his head, his eyes move to look at me. He tries to mutter something, yet can't. Wile then gets a knife and cuts one of Bugs' ears off. Please, no more, I managed to say. I don't know how I made it this far without turning it off. You want me to stop, huh? Wile said. That sent shivers down my spine. Could he hear me? Could he see me? Wile goes in to stab Bugs in the bottom of his spine, then led the blade up to his neck. Blood gushes out of the new wound. I couldn't take it. I stopped the DVD, took it out and broke it. Stay lost, you fucking shit, I said as I tossed it away. I didn't watch Looney Tunes for 2 months after I saw that. I was too afraid that episode would appear. I still am. I tried to look it up on YouTube. Nothing. I just pray nobody else has a copy of this DVD. Do not watch the lost episode.